Skip, I hate when guys give up money voluntarily. I really do. And I think what has happened is that you've had a few success stories where Tim Duncan played basically his entire career for less than market value. And he was able to parlay that into 5 championships. So the general managers, they run the players and say, you see what Tim Duncan did? It's kind of like in football, Skip. Tom Brady played basically his 20-year-plus career under getting less than market value. So what they do, they run to these players, if you want to be like Tom, you got to take less money. When they say all the time, you can't buy yourself a championship. Well, if I can't buy myself a championship, how the hell can you save yourself a championship? No, go ahead and get that money. Now, I can see if James Harden took this $13, $14 million pay cut and they were bringing in KD or they were bringing in LeBron or Giannis, okay, well, damn, okay, yeah, that greatly increases my risk of getting one of these players and pairing him with James Harden and Joel Embiid. But, Skip, they gave a 3-year deal to a 37-year-old P.J. Tucker. I love Tuck, but that's really risky giving a guy a 3-year deal at the age of 37. Daniel House, Daniel, however you say his name. Excuse me if I'm saying your name wrong, bro. I don't mean to.
Daniel. Yeah.
Okay. Skip, he averaged 7 points a game in Utah. And you made a trade for DeAnthony Melton, brought him from Memphis.
I loved him. I loved him last year in small doses, but I loved it.
But if I'm James Harden, I love $14 million more.
Okay.
Look, and we see teams that are willing to pay. Steph Curry ain't take no pay cut. Golden State Warriors in the championship and they winning, and they're in the luxury tax. So you can spend money and still be in the championship game as opposed to Steph is on a max contract. Draymond is on a damn near max contract. Clay's on a max contract. And they just won the championship and they ain't asked nobody to take no pay cuts. So you can do it, Skip. I just hate when players give money back because the teams are making money. And what they've done is that they've taken 1 or 2 isolated incidents where guys take less money and they've won, and they try to paint the whole NBA. You too can be like the San Antonio Spurs. You see Tony Parker and Manu and Timmy, they took less and they got ooh. Stop it. There's no guarantees. Skip, I believe had Tom Brady played for the Max, because you tell me all the time, well, what did Bill do with the money? If Tom Brady keeps taking less, they should have money to spread around for everybody. And Bill says, we ain't got no money. Well, what'd you do with the money that you saved on Tom? What'd you do when you saved on the money with all the other guys? You were never paying anybody market value that re-signed. So for me, Skip, nah, I ain't giving. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to do that. And these owners and general managers have convinced the players that you too can be like Tim Duncan and win, and it's not going to happen. That was a very unique situation, just like Tom Brady is a very unique situation. So look, but all that being said, with James Harden giving the money back, Skip, he could play for $5. If he played like he played last year, they're not winning the title. He needs to be consistently their first or second best player. If Joel Embiid is your best player, hey, Skip, Maxey can't be your second best player. And that's what happened in the playoffs. Maxey was their second best player. They need a better version of this James Harden. I'm not saying they need James Harden from Houston, but they need a better version of this guy, what they have in Philly now. But I'm sorry, Skip. $14 million? Nah.
A lot of money.
I get it. He's gonna probably make like $275. He got a $200 million shoe contract, and so whatever other endorsements that he's had in investments, so he's doing well, but he ain't doing well better than these owners that keep trying to convince these players to take less money. Oh, we put the team around you. We put the team around you. Man, get out of my face.
Okay, I hear everything you just said. And by the way, for these many, many, many years that I've been in this business, I have been all about player empowerment when it came to making money. Yeah. I got you. But in this case, with this player, for whom I have lost huge respect, not as much as I've lost for Russ, but huge respect, I have lost for James Harden, quitting his way out of Houston, quitting his way out of Brooklyn. And
I know another guy couldn't have quit his way out of Brooklyn, but we ain't gonna talk about him yet.
Okay, we'll get there. But the point is, James Harden did something Russ is incapable of doing. James Harden looked in the mirror. He looked in the mirror and he said, I don't love what I see anymore because I'm not that guy. I'm not Houston James anymore.
Right.
I've played 13 years. I'm looking at my hands. I got 0 rings. I don't have anything. I got no jewelry that matters. He got a lot of jewelry, but none that counts. the way you have 3 rings that count.
Right.
And he says, you know what? I owe this team because I cost this team last year, and I've cost myself and my reputation over the last 3 years. So it is time for me to make a sacrifice. And it's a steep sacrifice. It's $14 million.
Yes.
Now, you can look at the big picture of his career, and to your point, he's had his shoe deals for a long, long time, and he has made, all told, $269 million. That's a lot of dough, man. $269 million over 13 seasons, but in the end, he has nothing really to show for it except all
That's
that
just on
money.
the court, though, right?
That's on the court only. $269 in salary.
And plus, he got $200 million Adidas deal.
Okay, I'm just saying he's had these shoe deals for a long time. They've covered most of his career.
Yes.
Once he got to Houston. I mean, he's an MVP. So he just said, look, I'm going to show everybody out there that I am willing to sacrifice for the good of this team. And I don't care what you say. I don't like P.J. Tucker. I love him.
Yeah.
He is a difference maker of the highest order, but it's subtle difference making because it's all defensive and it's corner threes, and I can't do it in the stat. I can't do it in the box score.
Right.
I'm just telling you, I want him in my foxhole because he is just a flat out gamer.
Yeah.
He's going to give you every last ounce.
Yep.
And you got him because he wanted to rejoin you.
Well, Skip, he's not gonna give you any less or any more because I took less money.
Okay,
that's just how he's wired.
Okay, but you cleared the way. You cleared the decks for him. Daniel House, I'm going to remind you, back in the bubble when he self-destructed, he took Houston down with him. Remember, D'Antoni had just called him one of the better two-way players in the league, and he had really come into his own. And remember, in an early game in that series, who were they? Let's see, it was Houston against the Lakers. It was against the Lakers. Okay, when they flamed out. But in like game 2, he had a big game of 20-some points. So he's capable, especially reunited with Daryl Morey, who knows how to get the most out of him. He's an upgrade.
Skip, all he did was want an early COVID test. That's all he did.
Okay, all right. So whatever, but he did do that. You took the life out of that team. And DeAnthony Melton didn't get big run for Memphis, but when he got in, he did big damage to me. So he's a nice piece. And then that Trevelyan Queen was the MVP of the G League, and I don't know enough about him because I've not seen him play, but he averaged 25, and he was the MVP. He can't hurt. You just added 4 players who will help you in little big ways. Where you had little to no depth last year, and now you've got some pretty serious playoff caliber depth that could help take you places. In the end, it's going to come down to, is Joel healthy or right or not? You know, is his head right? Is his body right in the end? But still, you greatly improved your chances because you just said, I got enough money. I'm going to maximize my chances to win a ring in my 14th year. Well, I don't condemn that. I applaud that because especially from James Harden, he's lost a lot of cachet. His stock goes back up for me because I didn't think he had that in him.
Well, the only way his stock gonna go back up for me, is to play better. He can give back $27 million. He can give back $40 million. But hold on, Skip. I thought you were just upset at Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant got a 4-year deal and he's trying to get out of it. Well, James Harden had $47 million on his contract. Honor that contract.
Okay, but it's your option. That's a player option. You can do whatever you want to do.
But you know what happens. Skip, Daryl Morey said, hey, James, you know, we can get these guys if you do a little here, a little that. So you convince the guy to make it easy on you. No, that's not my job. I'm not the GM. I'm the player. And I get it. James Harden had a down year, but he did sign that contract. He's under no obligation. Like I said, what they do, Skip, is that you look at basketball and Tim Duncan. He's the prime example. He's the basketball version of Tom Brady, taking less money over the entirety of his career, and they've done a great job of putting pieces around him. But Skip, Tim Duncan did that because Tim Duncan was a great player. It didn't change what type of player that he was because he took less money. Hell, he was still winning MVPs. He was still winning finals MVPs. Just like Tom. That make it seem like because Tom took less money, he became a better player. Tom Brady was going to be the same. Even if he had maxed those contracts out, he was still going to be the same player. And you told me that look at the guys that he's making guys that have really no name. He's making them household names. Nobody knew who Julian Edelman was. Nobody knew who Amendola. Hell, the Rams, he got released from the Rams. And Tom turned him into a household name. Wes Welker.
Yep.
All these guys that Tom turned over like that. He was going to be able to do that whether he took less money or not. He was Tom bleeping Brady.
By the way, quick point of order on Tim Duncan. If Ray Allen does not save LeBron's legacy with that shot, Tim Duncan goes 6-0 in the finals. 6-0 like somebody else who's the greatest player who ever played. Okay, here's my issue with this. I didn't think James had this in him because I thought he was just a pure selfish solo act. And all of a sudden, he took one for the team. And I love that. You've made your money. It's not like you're in your second year and you say, I'm going to take less. Yeah. But
trying to make more money.
Now I look at your plight, your situation here in La La Land.
Yeah.
You got a guy, Russell Westbrook, who has gone completely, utterly over the edge delusional. And he's not looking in the mirror because you say, Russ, you need to just stop, walk down the hall somewhere and just stop and turn and look in the mirror for 1 second. What do you see? Well, he sees, we got stories galore. He still believes his trade value is supreme because everybody would want Russell Westbrook. I'm a top 75 player. Gotham Chopra just dropped a documentary on me, My Life and Times. I got ads everywhere. I got national ads. Okay, that's what he thinks of himself. So when his turn came to opt in for his $47.1 million, he couldn't wait.
Right.
He jumped at it. Well, he could have done exactly what James did. He could have said, as a token of my esteem, as an olive branch to LeBron and to Jeannie, I could say, let me just have, what did James take? He took $14 million left. Let me have about 33 of that. I'll take 33, and you can have 14 to spread around, and let's see if we can make this team a little better. Russ doesn't have that in his system.
Russ,
he doesn't have that gene in him.
He's not foolish enough. He knows he's not getting $30 million. If he opted out of that contract, he's not getting $20 million a year. If
he went out on the open market.
Yeah, he's not getting $20 million.
He could have made a deal with the Lakers and said, I'll stay here for $33 million. He could have done the same thing.
And the Lakers would have said, no, thank you.
Okay, well...
the Lakers would have said, no, thank you.
Maybe not.
No, Skip, there's no way.
They know he was untradeable, although at 33, you'd have to opt in and say, I'm going to play for you for 33.
No, you'd have to opt out. And then they would and have to in good faith. Okay. James Harden opted out of 47.
Okay, he opted out, but he just re-signed with Philly. But you'd have to have an agreement that you're going to re-sign with the Lakers at 33.
I believe James Harden has more value on the open market than Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook knows, Skip, if he opts out of $47 million, he's not making that. He's not making that fatal mistake that Dennis Schroeder made by saying, oh, I want to get... No, he knows. That's why he did. He opted in. He knew. And although they're saying that he thinks his value is high, he knew his value is not high. That's why he opted in. Because normally guys opt out, what do they do, Skip? They get max deals. He's not getting no max deal if he would have opted out of that contract. He'd barely get a minimum deal. And he knew that.
Now to the highest level. Your man, LeBron James, has always tormented me, has always perplexed me, has always dumbfounded me by always demanding the max. At every step, I want the max. I want every last penny. He has now made, through 19 seasons, $387 million in just salary. Well, off the field, off the court, he's worth $1 billion, right? $1 billion.
That's how you become a billionaire.
Okay. Well, it's not exactly how you become a billionaire. You become a billionaire in Hollywood through Spring Hill. You do these. You do the shop. You do all your productions. That's how you become a billionaire. And because he's made so much money, it would have made all the sense in the world for him to start taking less, a la Tom Brady, to achieve more on the court. Because if you do take less, at the very minimum, you're giving your GM the opportunity to fail more. Even if he's going to swing and miss at some of the pieces that he's going to add, you're going to give him more leeway to swing and miss and overcome it because he's going to hit on some of those. You're just going to give him more opportunities to bring in more players and maybe hit on some of those players.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. There is no guarantee. Even if I give you an extra $10 million or $15 million to play with, there's no guarantee.
I like your chances a little better.
I don't.
Why not?
LeBron James' chances are just as good. So are you telling me that Tom Brady's chances wouldn't have been as good if he'd have just been playing on max dollars? Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Either he's that guy or he isn't. The money, when Tom Brady's out there, he's like, you know what, I took this pay cut. Let me throw this touchdown over here. Let me have this game-winning drive because I took less money. He's Tom Brady, the greats of the great. And LeBron made it abundantly clear. Once he left Miami, he says, I'm never playing less than market value again. He took less money for 4 years there.
A little bit. It was a little bit. It wasn't a lot.
Skip, he talk about what probably over the life of the contract, at least $25 million.
Maybe it's 5-ish a year.
Yeah.
Was he there for what?
4 years. Yeah, probably
maybe
5. Yeah.
Maybe
$5-6 million a year. Okay.
Okay, but yet, through 19 seasons, LeBron has made $387 million. Through 22 seasons in your National Football League, Brady's barely made $300 million.
Yeah.
So let's call it about $85 million more that LeBron has made in 19 seasons versus 22 for Tom Brady.
One has a great players association, the other one not so much.
Okay, and Brady has averaged per season $13.8 million in his whole lifetime.
Yeah, but he was
This is the GOAT. Okay, but I'm just saying, it averaged out to 13.8. LeBron's average for his whole career is 20.4. So he's averaged almost $7 million a year more. We're just talking about salary than the GOAT, Tom Brady. So the point is, I believe that Brady always allowed Belichick to miss more. You know, he's not been a great team builder. He's not been a great drafter. He's not been that great of a free agent seeker. But he gave him more opportunities to fail and to hit. And so some of those were hits where Brady maximized his chances to win rings. And by the way, he's got 7 to LeBron's 4, 7 to 4. Well, it's a big difference.
I think the thing is, Skip, it would have been very interesting in today's climate with the salaries like they are now, where Brady can make $40, $50 million. Would he have been as interested in taking pay cuts when the salary comes? Because you got to realize, when Brady got into the league in 2000, top quarterbacks were probably making $5, $6 million a year. So now that's a far cry 20 years later. So I don't know if Brady's going to be, he has an opportunity to make $50 million. I don't know if Brady cutting a $30 million, taking a $20 million haircut a year.
Okay, but last year, Pro Football Focus graded Tom Brady #1 in the NFL. Aaron won the MVP, got it. But on just pure grade by a respected website, Brady graded #1 of all quarterbacks. Next year, Tom Brady is scheduled to make only $30 million. Next year, LeBron James is scheduled to make $44.5. So about $14 million more is LeBron next year, because he's going max. And yet, I can make a case that at 45, next year Brady will be as valuable as any of those young quarterbacks. I don't know, what do they make?
Of course.
50. What's Deshaun going to make?
Well,
he's low.
Brady. I mean, not Brady. Rodgers is the top guy.
Okay,
average.
so what's he up to now?
50.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just do Aaron versus Tom. Aaron's 50 to Brady's 30. Well, that's not right. I can make a strong case that Brady is at least as valuable, if not more valuable, than Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Valuable,
so there's a $20 million discrepancy between those two, because he's allowing his team to add little pieces here, little pieces there. We're about to talk about Kyle Rudolph. And just a bit here and a bit there, and they add, Logan Ryan. Just they can add little pieces to the puzzle where he's maximizing his team's chances to give him the help to go win an 8th Super Bowl at age 45. And I like their chances, and they are favored now to win the NFC, in some part because he's taking so little money that gives Jason Light more room to roam at the bottom of the salary cap.
No, I ain't giving no money. I mean, Skip, and Tom has other endeavors off the field that a lot of these guys don't have. A lot of these guys don't have a wife that's worth $400 million. So if I take a $5 or $6 million haircut a year, that's okay, because I got someone at home that's making bread also. Most of these guys' wives, they sit at home and they take care of the kids and they run the day-to-day operation of the household. I mean, some of them have wives that work, but they ain't Giselle. Skip, Giselle been making money before Tom. Hell, she got more money than Tom.
Okay, but LeBron has an alter ego at home that's making billions, and that guy is Hollywood Brown. And that guy is like...
We're trying to accomplish something.
He is a mogul.
We're trying to buy a team in Vegas.
Okay.
And we can't buy teams in Vegas giving back $5, $10, $15 million a year.
So what's the point of stamping your foot down and saying, give me my 44.5?
He should be Is he underpaid at 44.5? He should be making 55.5.
Okay, but that's a whole nother argument. You can say that everybody's a little underpaid. And
No, not everybody ain't underpaid.
In marquee value, just in TV sales value. Yeah, LeBron's still the face of the league.
Thank you.
I got you. But there is a salary cap. Unfortunately, you could have willed that away. You could have negotiated that away if you'd really wanted to, if you wanted to lead the charge on that.
Right.
But there is a cap charge for LeBron now, and you got to stay at $44.5 million. So it is what it is.
Right.
And yet you could have said, give me 20.
No, hell
Give me
no.
10.
I wish I might.
Give me 5.
No.
Tim Duncan.
See?
Last 3 years, Duncan made like $5 million.
Well, Duncan, he had an opportunity. What is it? Orlando put a bid in. In my mistake, I think it was Orlando.
Yeah, it was.
And he took considerably less to go back to San Antonio.
He did.
Nah.
And look what it got him.
No.
Got him 5 rings.
Hey, I appreciate that. But if y'all want to hire Helen and HR, y'all gonna have to come up with some more money. I can't give back anything.
Well, you lucked into 3 rings then because you didn't sacrifice at all.
Man, Skip, what you mean sacrifice?
Huh?
I make a little bit of money. You got to understand, Skip, when guys like Tom, and this is why, I tip my hat to him. Skip, he's a 6th-round draft pick. He didn't come in making first-round money like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning made like $280 million and probably played, like 6 years, almost 6 years fewer than Tom because he started at the top of the chart. Tom got to work. Tom probably made, what was the minimum salary back then? Probably $200,000, $300,000? For maybe not even that much. Maybe 150, 200. So he's got to start picking his way up. Now they did do the contract over, gave him like a couple of $1 million in year 2, and so he started going from there. But no, I ain't gonna be able to do that, Skip.
Well, and now maxed out LeBron is stuck in LA with maxed out Russ. Congratulations.
That's all right. Yeah. He got 4 rings. If you don't get another one, he got 4.
He's got 6 losses too.
4, and he gonna be an owner of an NBA team,
Good
baby.
for him because he's gonna be stuck on 4.
No, he won't be stuck on 4. He's gonna get another one.
10 cases on that right now.
Gonna get another. But hey, let me see. We still working. Don't think we're not working. Just cause you don't see us, we working.
Really?
Yeah. Just like the people that do all this construction right here. A lot of times we don't see them working, but they're working when we home.
I hear them working.
I know. I hear them working too. I wish I didn't have to hear them work. Because a lot of times I can't hear my damn self.
That's correct. Yep, that is true.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.